right, guys, let's talk about it. I just started the camera, even though I still gotta get a little ready. I'm a little high and dry right now, but let's talk about it. I just finished watching The Lost Children, and let me just say, I am a movie, reality TV, person. So I love doing these things, and let me just say, I don't know, I was finna say shout out to the producer or the editor or whatever of The Lost Children on Netflix. That's the movie I just got through watching. That's the movie I'm going to be reviewing today. So yes, I don't want to shout them out too much because I didn't even look up a picture, didn't even look up their name, don't even know who they is, what they about. But I don't know if this was your intention, but I do like the points that you made in the movie, the things that you found important, the way you did the storyline, things like that. I thought that was very interesting. And before I start rambling, I do have notes, so I'm going to stick to my notes. All right. I was supposed to use that everywhere else except my fingers. Let me look in the mirror. And I'm going to see if I can leave this video like unedited. I'm doing it on my camera, and I just don't know what to do afterwards, because usually when I do camera videos, I edit on my computer. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about all of that. But I'll be having dry spots, y'all. Sorry. I'm trying to care more. But yes. So let me get my notes. The Lost Children on Netflix. It's a movie. It's very good. So, also in the title, you guys see the one God ideology, and what I'm going, how my perspective of when I was listening to this, it kind of put me into a space of seeing like what works and what actually different ways people do things, or different ways to do things. And the one God ideology is something that is kind of getting pushed. I don't want to go into that too deep because it's not really it's not even about that. But the one God ideology, if that's even the right word. But and I wrote this down, and it's kind of probably gonna throw it off, I don't know, but we gonna go through the movie or whatever. But just saying, because in the movie you had the search team looking for these lost children, and you had the search team, which was like the army, the uniform, well suited. Oh yeah, I gotta kill these in. Okay, well suited and booted, and they were Catholics. A lot of the people in the military were Catholics, and that's kind of interesting because it's like, do people usually get the idea to be in the military and they just happen to be Catholic? You have to be in that space to even want to do it, or do they like purposely? Because you realize that people in the military, they are, for the most part, they do be like highly religious, or like doing that one God thing, or praying to that Catholic God or whatever. So, and in my perspective, and I was kind of taking notes as the movie went over like the ideas and stuff that I was getting, but that's like one of the first things that is kind of like pointed out are like presented in the movie, how the military men moved and did things different than the indigenous people. That's what they called them, the indigenous people. To me, I just say, like, you know, the people that live on that land, like, you know, like they lived there and they was there first. They of the waters, and those are the people who, let me say this because I think I wrote down that point. And y'all, I'm learning to take breaths and talk slow. But I wouldn't even say I be excited to talk, but I don't be wanting to miss no information. Like, maybe I need to chill and be like, girl, you're not gonna forget what you saying. Like, you just... But let me see if I can, because what was I even thinking about? I forgot what else. Okay, but I think I was explaining how basically the military people, they did things one way, and the indigenous people, they searched in another way. So basically, so what I came up with this being presented is that you think about it, and obviously my bias is more lean so with the indigenous people, that way y'all can understand this statement. So I look at everything through just the body itself. Like, when you come here and, you know, and you just have the body, and you can see the body, and you see different things that on your body that do different things. Like, your hands are good for this, your mouth is good for all of this, your eyes can see. It's different things all in one thing. And that, so my thing is, with the one God ideology, we all have different organs, and what is the word, limbs and stuff like that. They're all different, but they're all on the same body, but they all do different things. Their part plays a major role and is very beneficial. If you just do that for the rest of my life, like, I don't need my hands trying to create pupils so they can see, and like, just be a hand and do what a hand do and stabilizing that. So yeah, the body does that, but the thing is, it all reports to the brain. Your hands, I feel that it reported to my brain. My stomach growls, it reports to my brain. Everything reports to the brain. And I feel like when it does come down to that one God ideology, I understand to that point, because everything in the body kind of, like, not kind of, but it reports to the brain, and that space, and like, you know, it reports to the brain. But, and then the last point I said, but they must all still play their role. So it's like, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Y'all remember that, because I'm not saying it's not like a totality space, but the importance, you got to put importance on the fact that everything plays their role, everything matters, and different things matter. But anyways, so the lost children, what I liked was how the story was told and the points they made. I've said that already, but I'm just trying to read my points. But so it showed a difference in their search styles. Like I said, the military, those people were in a Catholic space. Indigenous people were more so indigenous. They I'm trying to see that point I made, because I think I wrote down like the stuff worded how they said it. Well, anyways, they more so gained their knowledge and their wisdom off nature, the land. They still had words like the Yage. If I'm pronouncing these words wrong, I'm spelling it right, but the Yage, which was like a actual ayahuasca, which was like a drink, and that was like the name for the ultimate space. Like they called that like, hold on, like, and they did that for the last thing. So it was different levels and different things that they were able to utilize before like feeling like in that space where they had to ask the ultimate creator, the ultimate, like for help. And they had a saying, God never fails us when we ask for something with sincerity. God never fails us when we ask for something with sincerity. And by the time they started utilizing or calling on the Yage or doing the ayahuasca, which was like a drink, and to put it like surface level, I'm assuming the drink was like a hallucinative drink that create visions for you. So yeah, that was kind of like the indigenous people style. The military people style, they had their style, and they were kind of like preying on a thought, preying on like a made idea. They were like, you'll see a scene in a movie where they was praying and it was like Father, Son, Holy Ghost, and it's like all of this stuff that it's kind of like a thought, like something that's made up. You have to see it, or you have to be told like the definition of it to see it. The indigenous people, they more so prayed and paid attention to like nature, the jungle, when it's raining, certain territories not to go into. They made a statement, and one of the things they was like, if you go too far into a anyways, if you go into too far into a unwanted or a territory you're not supposed to go into, it'll start raining. And they paid attention to those type of things, and it was much more empathetic and sensitive to nature, more so than like just being by the book like the military was. They was by the book. They didn't really care for nature. The indigenous people were like, the indigenous people eventually decided to not search with the military, and they for the most part did not search with the military for the most part until they actually needed help or maybe was getting sick. Then they decided at the end, but eventually the military, they quit looking on day 36. The kids was lost for 40 days. They quit looking on day 34. Sorry, they quit looking on day 34. That's when the military stopped. But the indigenous people kept looking, and the tactics of the military, like they was just walking in straight lines. They had all of these equipment and stuff, and the indigenous people, they searched in more so intuitive style, where they knew they were looking for kids, so they moved like kids. They didn't walk in a straight path, and that kind of worked for them. When they did that, they was kind of running into, not kind of, but they was running into like bottles and bibs and little bitty hair things for the girls. So that kind of like intuitively, it would give you like more motivation to keep going. And that's why people, they still decided to go all the way to day 40, because they was doing that, right? around like their 20s and the 20s. So yeah, and I just feel like the two styles of searching and the faith and belief systems was like emphasized in this movie, and like the maker, the producer, whatever, director, whatever word they would be called, kind of wanted people to see that. And they was talking about how, well, the indigenous people was talking about how the military search style was different, and by the time they needed help, because everybody started getting sick, it was about the last days in the 30s. They had showed a scene of how everybody came together and everybody was able to relate together, and they were just talking about human stuff, like random stuff. And that was kind of like a scene. It kind of brung you to that space of, yeah, everybody is just human. And you know, it could work. And for me, it's like that space where it's like, okay, in the body, every organ, every limb does its own thing, but at the end of the day, it's still your own body. And they also emphasize a lot on how the indigenous people did not trust the military, because they still remember, this was an indigenous community of 1,000 years old. That's what one of the indigenous people said. 1,000-year-old indigenous community, and they remember, and they still have those like icks with the military and people in uniforms and gangs with people with guns and stuff. Like they still have like they remember that. And it's like, yeah, so I forgot where I was going with it, but yeah. But it's like, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like they was invading, and my thing is, when it comes to like different people being indigenous to different lands and living life in a different way, and to be indigenous of that land for 1,000 years, you know that land, you know that part of the thing. Especially if you're being you guys are in, what's the word? A intuitive type community. You guys are one with the nature, one with the land. You understand the moods and the ways of the weather of that land. Like you are playing that organ, that spot. Like you're doing exactly what that's supposed to be doing. And when you have like those invasions and you come stop that group, those cells, from doing the ways of the weather, the natural indigenous ways of that land, and you try to come and make it more so of that one God ideology, the people became like depressed, and like it became hard. And even the father, I didn't even say this, but even the father in the movie, like just like now, they having this American problems. I'm in America, and they having American problems, like men beating on children, people not having money, and like it's the same problems. I'm not like, you get what I'm saying. But anyways, but yeah, as they was doing the search, they had made this statement. It was like, so basically, backstory on the dad, because I'm kind of running out of time. Like, how long have you been talking? 19 minutes. But backstory on the dad. The dad is a stepfather to Otis, the 13-year-old girl, 9-year-old girl, and he's the father of the 4-year-old boy and the 11-month-old girl. So, of course, the Otis, she's seen that her mom relationship with this stepdad or the stepfather, and it wasn't good. He was abusive and stuff like that. And for a moment, they was like kind of hinting at maybe the kids are hiding, maybe, you know, they don't want to be found. Well, the grandma said this. The grandma said, she was hiding because she didn't want to see that man. That's what the grandma said. Y'all know how grandmas be, but she was like, she was hiding and she didn't want to see that man. That's what she was thinking, because they was just out there for 40 days, and it's like, why can't we find y'all? But yeah, so it was these ideas of the jungle knowing that the man wasn't a good person. The jungle knew, nature knew that he wasn't a good person. Nature knew he wasn't a good person, and everybody was like, why can't we find him? And to me, that was like an emphasis or a correlation to, like, when you're looking for something or you want something, but there's like a hidden unknown factor or something that's been hidden, because they was looking for them kids for 40 days, and this father was there since day one, knowing he beat on a mama, all of this stuff, and just wasn't a good person, like suffering from mental stuff. Like, he have mental stuff going on to where he even in a space to, like, let me hit this woman. But they were saying like, oh, the jungle knew this, and then eventually when they did get to like the last days, like day 49, 48, that's when they, like I said earlier, like eventually they was like, we need to talk to God, like God. So like I said, they called it the Yage. They did the, I always have to stop, ayahuasca, because I always want to say ashwanga or something. I know that other word, but ayahuasca, which was a drink. So they once they decided to do this, they was like, let the father do it. Of course, no one knows that about his demons that he's been hiding, and how he be beating on a mama. And my thing was, when earlier in the movie, my thing is, you're one person, one grown ass man, and this is a woman, 3 children, women, females, and 1 boy, still kid, and they hopping on a plane. Why you ain't take your ass on the plane? And it's like the sister was saying too, like, y'all gotta love the women, I'm having a newfound relationship with women, because in the past I used to be like, kind of like, because women are very magical and very mystical and very dark and dense and deep, and I love it. But so it used to be like dang. But the women, like her sister, she was like, what did she say? I forgot what she even said, but I forgot. But yes. So the father tried to take the drink. Let's just get to that part. The father they decided to take the take the drink and like do the final risk. They was like, we're gonna do this. If the creator doesn't show us the way, if we don't have the idea, if it doesn't work, then the creator, like, nature doesn't want, they called it Dwinda, and that was kind of like a spirit that they called, it kind of had the trait of an animal hopping into a human body. They kind of seen it as an enemy, which is just like a human person with animalistic traits, terrorists, kind of like that, people in the jungle who can take you. I think one of them was saying like that the animals turn into humans and then they take you. But as we know, we haven't seen it physically, so it's more so of a spiritual analogy, or like a metaphysic of like a human having animalistic traits, and they're doing animalistic things in the jungle. Because in Colombia, you have people who do live in the jungle, people who are raised in the jungle, and even one of the volunteers, he was raised in the jungle. So that's just what happens. So let me hurry up. So when the dad took it, of course nature did not give him no type of idea, no type of vision. You get nothing. You're a bad dad, you're a bad person. Nature gave him nothing. It was like, dang. They was like, okay, let's try it. And they had one of the elders do it. And when the elders took the drink, he went into like elusive state. I don't want to say elusive state, but he had a vision. You know, when you're in your head, you close your eyes, you're in this high feeling. I don't know if anybody ever been high before, but that high feeling, you close your eyes, people call it trips, and you have your vision. He envisioned himself as a tiger, and he saw the kids. He said, we're going to find them kids at 3 p.m. today, and if we don't, we're leaving. So yeah, that's when they found the kids on day 40. And yeah, I'm gonna say the saying again, because God never fails us when we ask for something with sincerity. The point is that father was not sincere. He was asked for something, he was not pure, and he probably had other ideas and stuff on his mind conflicting with it. To be in a pure space is to be simple. It's not hard to be in a pure space, but you have to, like, if you know you got something else going on, you know that. That's why it's like a space of like, God knows everything. God knows everything, because you know everything that you've done. And when you try to do things, and I'm not saying like you can't fake purity by, you know, it's kind of like passing a lie detector test. Like, you can fake it and act like you forgot what you did, but at the end of the day, it's still there. But the thing is, the father was not pure, and he was asked for something that he didn't even. 4 kids by yourself, a grown man, and you already in the space of being women. Your life is probably hard. What are you going to do with 4 kids? Anyways, yeah, God, but the man wanted to find the kids. The elder wanted to find the kids, and he was the leader of the group in a way, or was he the shaman? It doesn't matter. Anyways, he was the elder, and he asked to find the kids. He said, direct me to the kids, and that was his idea. We find them today, or we leave. And he told everybody, we're gonna find them. And when he told everybody that we're gonna find them, everybody, even nature said, and they show how it was a peaceful day on day 40. The sun was in the sky, and it was like nature was sound and quiet. They had a little picture of the little deer running, and it was just like one of those. So they found the kids on day 40. It turns out that the kids was not hiding, like the grandma said. The kids was not hiding. They was not trying to not get found by the dad. Actually, the oldest, her name is Leslie, Big Les, because she knew everything. I must say, she knew everything. I loved her little story, but she said that because the military, when it was out searching, I just knew they was gonna get found, but they had speakers out. They put speakers at about like every 100 kilometers, millimeters, ground feet, and they had like speakers for the kids to follow. And she said she couldn't follow the speakers because they kept fading. So she probably was walking too far, or she was just like, I think she had a head injury, so it was like it's too much going on. She don't know what she's hearing. Stuff is fading, and that didn't work. So yeah, they just honestly was not finding each other for 40 days. Like, that's crazy. But one thing that I do want to point out about Leslie, shout out to you, Les, she knew everything, and she said she knew we had to leave the plane to find food. We had to abandon the plane, can't stay in the same place, we need food. She said she knew the baby needed more food than everybody else. She knew to make a fishing rod. She made a fishing rod and caught fish. She even knew that they could eat the fish raw, so that she was feeding them fish. And she knew that she had to protect them. She said she had a moment in those 40 days where she was like, I'm finna leave my brothers and sister. Like, but she said it took her 20 minutes. She cried, she was chilling, and she went back and she knew she had to protect them kids, and that's what she did. So yeah, that's about the end of it. The kids was found. Yeah, it was found just in time, because she said that the brother eventually became too weak, he couldn't walk. She said she had a scrape on her knee, and like everybody was just getting weak. So day 45, they probably would never, or everybody would never probably made it. But yeah, and they had the little, where are they now thing, and turns out the father is in prison for abusive allegations. And my thing is, why would she didn't say, nobody, how did they find out to put in the movie that he was being abusive? I guess since they know, well, anyways. But the thing is, it's just crazy, because people, we have to communicate, and I know they're kids and stuff like that, but it's just what happens, people don't communicate those type of things. Fear is real, and I just can't, why would they give that man them 4 kids? And I understand it's like a non-regulated type, those your kids, it's that type of vibe, so. But yeah, turns out the kids are in a shelter in Colombia. The father is in jail, and it's my thing is, this a whole Netflix movie. I'm in America, Netflix get paid, so I'm just I'm hoping these kids get some benefits off this movie. They are going to need a guardian regardless, but it's I don't know, there's this thing going around where it's make the right person rich, and I'm just saying but yes guys, let's all just, not even all of that extra stuff, but them kids really in a shelter. I just feel I know people survive in the jungle for years, but that was a pretty cool story. And that's my look. Let's talk about it. We didn't talk about it. Catch me next time on the next movie or show that I find interesting. I'll be doing this again. Peace. Let me